Buddy, Brian here from quantlabs.net. Thank you very much to everybody watching. We've been hitting hundreds, I'll say hundreds of people. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe stuff. We want to get more free pizzas from YouTube. Okay. That's what we got after 10, 12 years being in this. Anyways, we got a bunch of questions I want to go over for people. I think it's important, obviously, to recognize all that. This is more like how to start type of thing. So I'm going to start here from YouTube comments. Hey, Brian, I'm currently pursuing a UG undergrad in data science AI, interested in finance to become a quant. Will you guide me from where I can learn finance for quant? Okay, so let's talk about where to go for that. Right out of the gate, what I would tell you is go to quantlabsnet.com, subscribe because we're going to have some new offerings coming up in the next, I'm going to be saying a couple of months. I might address it at the end, what I'm going to looking at to go over what I'm thinking of doing. But I'll address all these questions first. So, like I said, just go to quantlabsnet.com, go to the limited 45-minute preview, two choices, two. Easy path, let me go make that's the easy path, the thumb, or the hard path for career, coming out of school, is the hard path. Okay, so the easy path, depending upon who you are, start learning TradingView. I can set up a business for people I want to do automated trading with no coding involved using 100% TradingView and a third party service. I would recommend to use trading, interactive brokers, and you can, if you dare, want to do crypto with Coinbase. So that can be done. The other hard way is this right here. If you want an HFT book that I just created, it's specifically about the entire infrastructure, what goes into C++, all the considerations for high frequency trading and what the high frequency trading firms use, do, regulatory, all that. So you can get info there. So that's all free. Okay. So if you want to get started and get serious with what I provide, I can't provide everything via YouTube. Not possible. Okay. And I'm going to address that in another question, I believe, at some point. Um, all right. So there's a bunch of questions. Okay. I came across two blog posts, one from Quant Insti and Reddit, on basically how to get started in the world of finance and automated trading. As I said, there's two options you have. If you're trying to do a career move into it in a bank, hedge fund, and the like, then you probably want to follow these two paths. As I said, if you want to just do it on your own, like I said, we can provide that for you, but nobody seems to be interested in it. So I'll be focusing on the C++ HFT stuff in the near future. So, first question is, and again, this is going to help all the questions you're seeing here, um, like this one here as well. Let me go over the other two. So this is from an email on my newsletter. I'm using initials so I can keep the names private, but they know who they are based on the initials. So this is from a guy of IRRR. I've been following you for years and was able to attend one of your online live sessions in the past. I don't do those anymore because people think them out as much. I think people like to point, click, watch for from my stats for 2 minutes, and then they're all automatically rock stars in the world of HFT. I've talked about that in the past. Yeah, you got to get serious on what you want in the world of high frequency trading, quant trading, and the like. A lot of people, as I said, have liked my stuff now. Thank you very much for that. Continuing along, I'd like to learn and earn using trading automation. Is it possible to do this as an automated business? I said before, yes. He's on my email, so he knows what I'm talking about. If you're interested in that for a very paltry amount of time, just go into my book online, get a discovery call. I can help you out. I can bang out a lot in 15 minutes. very affordable for anybody out there. So I can give you other solutions and the like. So that's probably the best I can do from a custom point of view. Um, Coming back to this, uh, I have background in programming, other stuff if possible. I'd like to be a quant too. Again, I don't know you. I don't know your level of knowledge in programming. You could be an HTML programmer. That's might help you out, but really it kind of won't because you have to be coming from a Python, Java, C++, .NET, C Sharp, the like for that. So to be quant, there's a lot more work involved. I got them all over my last 4 weeks of videos on my YouTube channel. I cover a lot of those topics. So I guess in detail, watch those in their entirety. So this guy's from the Philippines, not a lot of opportunities for quant rules there. I do know a lot of people are coming over to North America, plus for the pay. But a lot of firms are now cutting back on that just because of the economy. And to be truthful, a lot of it has to do with AI as well. So they're shrinking down teams and still be able to get a lot of work done thanks to the likes of AI and the productivity it brings. Okay. So let me give you a background here. Yesterday I put out a question. No, was it 2 days ago? I put out a question. I think it was yesterday. What would you like to get done, and why did you sign up to my newsletter? So two people responded. The first person responded, "I'm studying AI software engineering." This is from initials PD. I'm studying AI software engineering and about to do the AI developer associate certificate. I'm very interested in the pursuit of becoming a financial algo trading quant. Can you tell me how do people usually add the quant finance a component to their computer science or programming studies? Unless you're in the specifics of algo trade, not algo trading, but finance, specializing in computer side of quant, it's going to be a hard shift in the educational front. Is this generally only studied at post grad level? Yeah, I would think so. A lot of jobs, if you look at, um, have wanted undergrad, but now they're wanting and most likely want people coming out with a PhD. So if you're coming from an undergrad, you want to move closer as close as you can get to focusing on math, finance, computer science, and if you're really smart, go into the physics world because a lot of the high end and best paying quant jobs come out of the physics world, believe it or not. But that's been verified multiple times. And again, I've got a lot of videos on that. What undergrad options are there to study the markets? From a schooling point of view, what you want to do is go to quantnet.com, quantnet.com. They have some educational stuff there. You may want to look that up for different schools. People have been going into the QuantNet program with the C++. That may help. There's also the CQF. That's about 20K. I don't know what they're charging now. So you'd add on that. If you have the real chops, I'd probably recommend to do a CFA. And the reason I'm saying all this is because you want to be recognized by the institutions, not the retail trading, not the prop shops, but the name brand banks, hedge funds, HFT shops that you know. So you want to have the closest you can get to getting recognition. As the competition is now even more fierce, you got to be on top of your game and you got to show not just your skills, but you got to have name brand stuff. So to really break through the crowd, I think it really would help to have a CFA. That's a really tough gig, but I do know a lot of students recognize that and they get the CFA in parallel with their education. The thing is that you're sitting and writing that exam once a year. So if you're something similar to finance, I won't say it's a piece of cake, but it's a lot more natural to you when you write. I think it's through the three levels of the CFA. It's very difficult, but if you can do it, go for it. The other thing that you need to really recognize, and I've said this before, is you need to have an Ivy League university to get the recognition from the recruiters. When you start doing this, start adding your branding, I guess you could call it. There's that video I did with Mark, who's a student now, first year in NYU. He's gotten a lot of response out of that video. It's over 1,000 views now, so I'm sure he's well on his way. If you follow and listen to what he says for a younger person's perspective, that might be another solid video you may want to watch as well. That's why I did the video, to sort of spark people's inspire people, I should say, for students moving into this as a from a younger age. Um, I'm studying math and stats, cloud computing, and microservice architecture with my current studies. Yeah, that's the bang on stuff. In terms of the microservice architecture, cloud computing, that's really good. But just make sure you're focusing more on the math front, because the coding, I think, there's all the different paths. Again, I've got a lot of videos on. It really depends upon where you want to go. Again, I'm gonna have. I'll go through the prior two posts that I put up and comment on that. But I said I'm not gonna focus a lot on what I've already said in my past videos over the last 6 weeks. Okay, so hopefully I'll help out. ED. So we've covered this one and this one from IRR. So let's get into the first question. Okay, so let me start that up here on Reddit. And naturally, the moderators over at Reddit don't like the post because it's a very, very, very generic question, and they're probably sick of it because it's been asked a million one times. As you can see, even from my point of view, a lot of people are interested in this field, but the question they need to ask themselves: do they have what it takes to be top of game and be able to not just go through all the other videos I've gone through, but to showcase what they're capable of doing. So let's do it from another perspective on Reddit. Okay, so there are some good answers here. Um, See, they removed the pose because it's a I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So I think this is a decent response, but it does overwhelm you easily. Um, what this person says, start chunking away at a project you want to work on. Okay, that's fine. I'll get into what I'm gonna do, and it's gonna be very exhaustive. But again, it's very doable for people that want to get very serious in the exact path they want to go. All right. So again, this is for finance. So they're recommending doing the usual libraries: Python, Matplotlib, NumPy. Figure out how those work, go deep and wide, work on a project, probably work on your own project, as Mark recognizes as well, that student at NYU. That will really help you out. Um, so I'm not going to get in it, but I'll put this in my blog post. So you'll get the description and look in the description for that blog post. Another answer here: learn Python. Python is probably the most popular language when it comes to quant, but if you're after the juiciest, highest paying, as I said before, you want to go into quant research and more into the C++ infrastructure HFT firms and know your Linux, know your really low level in the whacking in the weeds C++ because that's what it boils down to. So if you're fairly new at Python and going down that path, there's a lot of work you need to do. But again, it may be worth it if you're highly motivated and willing to work. So again, Python for statistics, Python for finance. Okay, so they're talking about here of AI code generation. ChatGPT is good, but it's different. If you're going to go in and just bang out code generation, source code that's generated by an AI tool like ChatGPT, no offense, you're not going to learn a lot because you need to go through the pain and sacrifice to find just to write a piece of code, write something, a project of some kind from ground up, from ground zero, from scratch. You need to go through the process of why it's not working, and going through the massively annoying debugging phase. All right. So if that's the case, that's just something that's going to be part of the job. If you're not capable of doing that, you will not last in the job. And on the way out, they'll be laughing at you and most likely putting you on an S list, meaning a P list. And people don't know once you're on that poopy list, you're going to have a very difficult job to get another job and even get looked at seriously by recruiters and by other firms because they do have references of the people to avoid and not even look at. They may even set up lists of resumes that come in and that just get filtered out because they're on that naughty list. So you want to make sure when you go in, you know your stuff and you know your stuff and they're not just squeaking by. Okay. I'm telling you that as a warning because you'll never work in the industry again. I know that's a fact. So just understand that. So using tools like ChatGPT is fine when you know the code inside out, you know what you built, and you use these tools like ChatGPT to help you debug. Yes, but you still got to be able to do that on your own because there are a lot of coders out there, billionaire coders that have started trading firms, automated trading firms, HFT trading firms. And in the last stage of that interview, they can do interviews right off the cusp. They're that smart and they're very capable people, and you're not going to get a generic question that you'll get on the leak code thing. It's not like that. You got to know your stuff, even right to the last stage at the founder, CEO level, even when you pass everything else. Okay. I'm telling you, Quadrature is one of them. And the two founders are probably very likely accomplished programmers. And they're going to drill you, even if you've gotten through all the hard questions. So don't stop to think that the hardest interview will be the last. It won't be. It most likely be the last interview you do with a senior founder, most likely, and they will drill you hard and they will expect you to know your stuff. So again, as I've kept saying, I don't think I've said this in other videos, but there's three aspects of knowing these type of jobs. There's programming, coding, obviously. Math is a strength that you need to have, and more importantly, is to showcase your trading skills. I've talked about that with Mark, NYU student, Mark B. And yeah, you got to have a track record, a verifiable third party track record to show your initiative and to show that you will be long term profitable for a company outside of just coding and knowing your math because really the bulk of it's going to be, are you a profitable trader? And you will be put into some trading desk role. You'll be put into some project leadership role because you have to show value and revenue generate for the firm. If you don't, then well, you may just be lackluster and just not go anywhere. That's how to really prosper in this field to get up into the higher levels of managing partner and director and all that. All right, so that helps. So you must have some programming skills. I would not just say some, like you got to know whatever you're trying to learn inside out. When it fails, you need to fix the chat GPT, make an economist, I'm an economist, by the way. So recommendation is based upon my experience. So there you go. I got a video that is now hitting almost 1,500 people about what Goldman Sachs, with their course for a lot of analysts, are testing. Everybody's probably going to have to eventually do it that want to be a market analyst, and meaning you got to be a coder, know your Python. And I'm sure there's going to be an expectation over at JP Morgan. So you know that those are the leading banks in the world, and that will become a industry standard. I don't like saying it, but it's just the reality we face as the competition for these type of jobs do get fierce. I'm not here to discourage you, but I'd rather you know the facts before you take on this initiative. And even if you don't feel comfortable with it and you feel that you're not learning or these skills are so valuable for your for yourself, you can go really far with this if you decide to make your own money somewhere in a job elsewhere outside of this field, but do well and manage your own money with coding skills. It's so valuable to have that. Okay, next answer. Learn the basics from whatever programming language. So there's some examples here. I think this is really important as an example. Learn integer overflow, floating point math. Lots of examples here. NumPy Financial has a bug doing something like blah 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 blah. Got to know about these things. They're not hard to find. They're not easy to debug, and you definitely can't do that from something that's been code generated from ChatGPT or whatever tool you use for code generation. It's just not going to work. Do yourself a favor and use as little ChatGPT as possible. Ideally, not at all. It's mostly providing wrong code logic, at least for finance, which is all I really know. Okay, so that's true. Now, someone's going to sit here with a different perspective. So this person's been a software engineer for 20 years, relying on ChatGPT is fine, and perhaps the future. I'd recommend getting the Page GPT since it's an analyze feature that runs the Python for you. That's true. Yeah, you can do that. I believe you could probably do that as part of the Visual Studio or VS Code to analyze your code. So maybe the Chat GPT would be very beneficial there. But again, the key is your code from scratch. If you want to write custom code, start small. Existing projects, Google Chat GPT, easy problems. In my opinion, LLMs are the best thing for education nowadays, and they are like a personal tutor. I got somebody who's doing that, and I think learning that skill in itself is pretty good for the future and for current day because it's the hot thing. You know how it goes. And there's some Pydantic. All right, so that's all those questions. Now, this article here at Quant Insti is quite good. Um, let's see here. Let me just copy this here. Okay, so oh, here we go. Okay, so you can see it just came out today on Quant Insti. Let's talk about Quant Insti for a minute. I'm not going to sit here and say Quant Insti is a bad place to learn, pay for extra education. You heard me say you want to stick to what the institutions recognize, okay? I'm not going to sit here and say Quant Insti is or is not recognized by the institutions, but golly gee, if you're going to do something, you probably want to put the same money, put it towards the cost of doing exams on your CQF, because at this point you can do a lot of self-learning, but these blogs are really good. So just be aware of these third-party places, um, because in North America, I don't know if they're recognized or not. I don't know. I can't sit here and say. But more importantly, just check out the reviews. I think it's a trusted pilot. See what people say there, honest or not. That's all I can say about Quant Insti. I'm not going to sit here and bash them, but do your research. And I've already dropped some hints there. What is algo trading? Blah blah blah. So here's the breakdown. I do find that these are very valuable, and very good actually. But again, it's all free. Take advantage of it. So let's go over what they're saying in here. Blog covers algo trading. Oh man, there's a million and one places to go for that. Undergrad, postgraduate degrees for algo trading. Now remember, this is the key difference. Algo trading is very different from quant and working in an HFT shop. So when they say algorithmic trading, make sure it's exactly on the path you want to go. Resources for learning algo trading. Of course, it'll be Quant Insti because they got to pitch their own stuff. Hey, I'm in the same way. I got to keep the lights on and I got to feed uh, my pretend cat. Okay, case studies. Okay, so the case studies are probably going to be the people in the program that they're trying to sell and common questions. Okay, so overview of algo trading. Do I really need to go over that again? It's like there's a billion and one videos on out there. I've done them as well. Check out my stuff because I got to promote myself here. Undergraduate and postgraduate degrees. So this should answer some of the questions of people that have already asked that in this video that sparked this. You got to really choose well. I think what I'm putting out there's the honest truth. Um, so here's some options. So you got to really pick carefully, but where you go from here past your undergrad into your postgrad. There's a postgrad and your master's level and your PhD level. You got to choose well. But here, I think this is pretty safe to go with. So if you want to do computer science, obviously do programming, hardware, and architecture. I would just focus on the software from the undergrad. But if you get in hardware, it's part of the program. Do it. Nothing wrong with that. Where you will be kind of interesting for a lot of people if they decide to go into the FPGA world. Again, I've done the videos. I talk about it in my book again for the book here, the C++ book. Just go under learn, and that's at quantlabsnet.com. Okay, links below in the video. Anytime you can go there. All right, so coming back to this video here. Yeah, so it's a given on what kind of programming, computer science you need to take. Math and statistics, I think all of these are very important. Okay. Um, I think you got to be rock solid in all these areas. And a lot of people that are move into this are out of the gate going to be really good at what they do. To me, I'm the kind of math is my weakness. I've always joked around where I've always said my skill set in math is the two plus two equals five level. Okay. That's my level of math. So just remember I'm the two plus two equals five guy. Okay. The trading and finance as well. You could formally learn it. I would probably focus more on the math priority. But if you want to just focus on the infrastructure side on the coding, yeah, just stick with the computer science. That's a pretty lucrative field to get into. And then you get into the usual financial engineering, probably more at the master's level. Okay. Machine learning, stats, probability theory, stochastic calculus, risk management, obviously programming, quantitative analysis, econometrics, derivative pricing, and portfolio management. There's a ton of books out there. I've got a list out on uh, my blog. Problem is, I put out so much content, I can't remember what. If you go to my blog section here on QuantLabs.net, you can do a search for that. Okay. All right. So resources for learning algo trading. So here, to make life easy, probably go with Python for now. And then somewhere along the line, you will need to move into C++. I've already done a video on the future of things like .NET, Java. The survey from, I think it's eFinancialCareers.com. They did say there was a big drop now in Java, and it looks like it's just pretty well C++ in everything, along with Python. But if you want the more lucrative roles, yeah, you got to focus on the C++ and specialize in that and become a elite programmer. So if you can do that, you got the skills, you want to do that, you got the chops, do it. All right. So learn algo trading for beginners, Python programming, trading with machine learning, math concepts. We already talked about that. And the quant trading strategies, day trading, options trading, basics of markets. Okay, trading strategies, that's going to involve your math. Day trading, that can be done at the retail trading level. Any Joe Blow doing technical analysis can do that. But they say options trading here is because this is where a lot of the firms trade. In terms of the asset class of choice for a lot of high paying firms, a lot of them are going to be involved with options directly on exchanges, be it the CME, ICE, and a lot of it will be Forex, futures and commodity, obviously, and financial. Way the markets are going now, I do put up in my free news section. I'm going to go, what are you talking about? You go to quantlabs.net and you want to know what hedge funds are doing. I try to do this every day. Okay. Uh, oh, okay. My apologies here. But if you go under, let's see here, groups, this is for the really deep learners. In here, I got a free section here, Quant Labs Net, Quant Labs Net EBook.com public news analytics group. There you can go in and download these files, zip file, and you'll see a section on trading. In that trading text file, you'll see what, and it's every day I'm reporting on this. You'll see every day how hedge funds are trading. So, for instance, recently there's been a shorting of Japan yen. Everybody's getting burnt on that. So now they're doing the long on Japanese yen and they're making money at that. Or they're doing gold or, just treasury or just things like that. That's what a lot of HFT firms and hedge funds will be trading. So knowing what they're trading today is knowing what asset class to focus on, and not just asset class, but what specifically they're focusing on, because that's where they make their profit, right? So that's important to know. But usually it's going to be an options trading and futures trading. Hang on to what we're going to do in the next few months on that area, along with C++. Dropping hints again. This is going to be a very long video. My apologies, but there's lots to cover here in these kind of questions. All right, so continuing along because it's fast and furious. So options trading is where you go, okay? Um, Again, there's the learning track. Your head is ready to explode. This is where you got to kind of decide where you want to go. But generally, you got to know your options. You got to know your shouldn't say forex, but currencies. That's what the trading pros will tell you. Currencies. Um, and here's where it gets bizarre. Okay, so you want to stick in the programming world. You want to do the quant development, quant research on the models. You got to know stuff like this in the world of machine learning, decision trees, neural network, in trading. So again, you see links here. You can go. This is again, as I said, where your head can literally explode. So, what courses are available from Quantitative? As I said, there's this executive program in algo trading. This is their Cadillac course at Quantitative. I'm not going to tell you what's good, what's not. Check it out. Do your due diligence. I gave you the site where to go to see the real reviews. 6 month long comprehensive course. Da 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 da. Don't ask me how deep it goes. Don't ask me how. You got to do your own research. Okay, so for the blogs, again, they're going to probably focus mostly on their stuff. So yeah, you can see right here at the bottom left in the browser here, right down here, you can see Python for trading, Quantitative. Of course, they're going to promote their own stuff. Quantitative, backtesting with Python as examples, Quantitative, algo trading, Quantitative. So they got some good blog posts there, lots of other places to go. I kind of covered as well. Um, but if you got questions, just type them up in the comments. I usually respond as best as I can. This is an example video on what's made this video. Machine learning. Okay, so there's various blogs on Quantitative. They're pretty good. Doesn't cost you anything to read those. Okay, another important one is portfolio and risk management. Okay, so if you're not a rock star quant, you're not a rock star coder, this is where you'll probably end up in risk management. Nothing wrong with that. I've done videos on that again. That's more of the less, it's I'll just say, I hate saying it, but I'm going to be truthful, the lower echelon in the quant trading world and in the firm world. So you won't get the same pay, you won't get the same responsibilities, you will not get the higher pay that you seek. You will not get the cool kid stuff because, well, they've put you in this area at the risk management. Not saying it's bad. And you may just maybe, if you're really good, can get promoted into other areas in a firm. One thing I should also say is I know there's a trend out there from jumping from firm to firm. Not a wise choice because that's the first thing they'll look for. They want to make sure that you're committed in a firm. If you really think in this day and age that you can get away with jumping from one firm to another without staying minimum 3 years, I can guarantee you your next job is going to be hard to get. But there's always the exception. I mean, if you're coming from MIT, top grad, out of the physics program, you can pretty well command every kind of job you want. If you're at that level, that's an exception. But if you're just a run of the mill graduate, it's going to get tougher as AI comes in, and competition is fierce, and it's going to get a lot more fierce. Let alone what how AI goes, and if the AI is going to pretty well eliminate a lot of these junior jobs, and maybe they have. But the thing is that maybe, just maybe, that's why a lot of firms are now doing these competitions, and they're aggressive and hard to get attention from, and they even hard to get into. So that's why they do it. But anyone can, from what I've seen, some of the firms make it available to anyone to get in the firms. But if you do well, you get attention. Moving along. Case case studies. I don't think this is going to help anyone. This is for obviously for Quant Institute's purpose. Frequently asked questions. Do I need to a degree to start algorithmic trading? I'll give you my spin on that. It depends. If you're trying to do this for career, yeah, you need a degree. With the exception, if you're trying to do the self-learning, and you're getting recognized at firms, and you get into some kind of competition without education, that can happen, but that's rare. That's like trying to win a lottery of $1 million. So, um, even if you get a general degree, what they're looking for is where the degree's from. If the degree's from a top level school out of the UK or the US, cha-ching. As I said, MIT, maybe Harvard, maybe Stanford, maybe there's a whole slew of US schools I can think of. Imperial College, obviously at more at the higher level in England, Oxford, Cambridge, and the like there as well. So for the better paying firms and the more uh, higher, more responsibility and cooler stuff, yeah, you got to have those type of degrees. Just saying the reality, okay? Can someone with no prior technical knowledge do algorithmic trading? Okay, here's different. And as I said, it depends on your goals. So I've already talked about education. And you want to do it for career and get a nice, cushy, high paying job. Cool. That's what you do, get your education. Now, do you need technical knowledge on algo trading? If you're wanting to learn this on your own and build your own little platform or use some open source platform, you can do that. You may hit obstacles. If you're challenged on the technical, you can still kind of do algo trading, believe it or not. Um, the technical knowledge in terms of knowing Python and the like. Again, if you want to learn that just for kicks and have your own platform or to use another open source, it can work. If it works for you, great. You can spin your wheels and kind of waste your time at it. So it's a risk. You can do it, not saying you don't. The other option to do algo trading is what I've said earlier, is with this option. So I mentioned TradingView. I have a TradingView a playlist. You can go through that all you want. Another example I've gone available on another good platform is MotoWave. You could check out either of those video playlists on my channel. You can do that. And then, as I've said before, and if you're already having your head pop off and explode because it's all technical and all difficult, the easy path is this. And I've said this already. So let's just say you go to the top here at quantlabsnet.com. As I said, go under learn. Okay. I'm promoting my stuff here, obviously. There's two things you're going to get from me when you join this email list. Don't worry, I don't spam. Uh, I shouldn't say that. I don't release your info to anybody else. I send out a lot of content. I try to be kind of careful, and I only send stuff that when people engage with the list. I don't know why people just get their name. Maybe they just want the free book, da da da. Fine, that's okay. In terms of TradingView, if you watch that video for non-technical automated trading, this is where you want to watch the TradingView video. You'll get a 45-minute overview of what TradingView can do. I think if you watch that, your jaw will be like already on the floor. Like you can really do that with a TradingView? Yeah. Can you really do that with TradingView? Yeah. And with the most recent stuff I just put up last Friday with the tick data, and you don't need programming knowledge on that, you'd be like, really? Yeah, you can do all that. And you can do that without programming. Why? because you can download any of the available open source Pine scripts, which is a proprietary language for TradingView, play with them, customize them, da 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 da. I've got my own. Um, and again, it depends what people are wanting in terms of demand. I can't focus on both worlds, okay, that I'm talking about. But right now, it's a C++ HFT. If you're interested in going down this path, you got to let me know. You also, if there's a bunch of you, you got to let me know because after a certain point, I will not be able to help you any further if I'm moving on into the C++ Python world. Okay, just to put it out there. Okay, so the trading view currently we can support. Best thing is just book that call for 15 minutes. I'll tell you all about it. You just get a third party service. I can even build it for you. But again, that might be severely limited um, in the next, not next couple of days, but I'll tell you what's happening on my schedule. But I'll just say in October, okay? First week of October, okay? So, what basically what I'm saying is I may be I will be out of action in 10 days from today, as of August 23rd up until October 7th. So it's pretty well 6 weeks. All right. So I'll be able to maybe figure stuff out when it comes to October, first week in October or second week of October, more realistically, to help you if you want to do trading view. But you gotta let me know now before I start focusing on the new stuff I'll talk about in a little bit. So hang tight. All right. So, but you can do algorithmic trading uh with no technology uh knowledge. Quite literally, I've been doing it for a while. I'm happy with it, but the markets have not been cooperative, so I can't blame the uh the technology here. Okay, it's just the markets are not conducive for big profit right now. Anyways, but the technology is really good, very stable, rock solid. Boom, 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 boom. So, but as I said, you gotta let me know. I can't stress that anymore. Back to the quant insti. Would it make more sense to do an MFE or quantitative and an analytics course before getting enrolled in an algorithmic trading course? Okay, so this is really dependent upon your work ethic and your goals and how motivated you are. Obviously, your education with a master's level education, financial engineering, as to say, or a PhD, that takes priority everything. If you're on your summers and you can afford the time to do it, yes, do an algorithmic trading course somewhere that's going to be um, recognized by the institutions. You have to go down that path for these type of jobs. As I said earlier, the best one is your CFA. You may go, that doesn't make sense. Again, the whole idea here is to be above the crowd. You want to be the cream of the crop. Okay. So when you work on a CFA, that is a good option if you can do it in parallel with your education. In terms of what you have available on the side, again, all my videos explain really what you need to do to be a cut above everything else. Time is maybe not your friend. I get it. I've been a student in university as well. I understand. If you can do it, you might want to look at what I'm going to talk about in a minute. And it's on demand that you want, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so do you need the education? Yes. If you're trying to do this on your own and do it uh, as a self-employed person with some kind of automated trading business, I don't think you really need the education if you are willing to stick it out in the self-employment route. Okay. So we only see PhDs, math scholars, hardcore programmers, and I don't know what that means. I titans in the domain. Is that a true majority? So let's see what they say. I would say yes. That's the ones that are getting the good, cushy jobs. While many think that only PhD holders, C++, or in that must be an Indian thing, get into algo trading domain, it is not completely true. They say that because they want you to buy this program, the EPAT. I will tell you, in North America, that is a bull-faced lie. If you want to get recognized in the firms, you need to have ideally a PhD, be a hardcore C++ programmer, and not just think that, yeah, that's not enough. If you want to be in the right firms, getting the right kind of pay that most people want, and let me tell you once again, you can now compete against AI, and thousands of people are applying for these jobs and going into these competitions. So understand that. But let's see what else they say. The truth is that for doing algo trading, you need knowledge of fundamental concepts such as programming, machine learning, and trading. Okay, fair. But being from a different discipline is not an obstacle if you remain dedicated. And they're right there for being dedicated. You have to have the work ethic and be motivated to complete it. I'm not going to lie again. Uh, Dedicated towards the algo trading domain, you need to get enrolled in a course which will equip you with the required knowledge. Again, this is kind of like not the best way to to tell people. What you need to do is you need to really assess what you're capable of doing, how much work you're willing to put in, how much sacrifice you're willing to put in this, because it's going to be a lot. Um, if you're willing to do that, yes, you can do the self learning. Yes, you can do some kind of course. I'll talk about what I'm looking at and why I'm doing it. Right now, it's just an idea, but I'll go into what I'm planning to do as well. How important are programming skills in algo trading? Programming skills are crucial. Yes, they are. To develop, test, and implement trading algos, yes. But if you're coming in from outside of technology and just wanting to get algo trading and benefit from it, again, I've given you that option. But as I keep saying, I got to know. And then again, that's where with my stuff, um, you just get in touch, book online there at quantlabnet.com. Woo, we're coming up to an 45-minute video. Thank you very much for sticking it out already. That already tells me you're highly motivated. Keep it going. Okay. Do I need to know advanced math or for algo? Good understanding of advanced stock market math, particularly areas like stochastic probability calculus, is important for developing and analyzing strategies. I will agree with that, but a lot of us are not perfect at it. I'm one of them. The best way to learn that a lot of people may not know, and I've mentioned this a million and one times in videos of the past or the last 6 weeks, start looking at MATLAB. MATLAB has the best educational documents that I've seen, explaining a lot how formulas work, what institutions use, and showing you the right uh, scripting commands within the M language of MATLAB. Will you use MATLAB? Probably. In the institutions, they do need it. There's quite a lot of firms that use it. Um, so it's not a negative. It's not a waste of time, but that's an area you can focus on that obviously you won't get from these kind of websites. But yeah, you can look at MATLAB and you can get it very cheap as a student. The problem is you got to be a student. So you got to come from a school, the student number, and then go to MathWorks, the makers of MATLAB, and apply for your discounted stuff. But they do have some trial. But I'm not sure how that really works these days. But just take a look at MATLAB. It's probably your best resource out there for the math and all the formulas and all the math stuff. If you're coming from the world of 2 + 2 = 5, there you go. How can I gain practical experience in algo trading? Practical experience can be gained through internships, personal trading accounts. That's what I was going to say. Paper trading platforms, not really, because you don't feel the pain. If you put in real money into your own personal trading, and as I said, if you are really good, that can help you break through the crud of the educational, highly educated ABC types of people with their education, and you're really, really, really top solid, and you have that third party verification on your trading and why you're really good, you may have a chance now to get through that. So maybe I can take back, do you need education? But again, you got to make sure that you're highly motivated and you can prove what you're doing in your programming, prove what you're doing in your algos and strategies, and show it through your third party track record, third party verified track record in your trading. That will really blow away a lot of the recruiters, but you still need to get past all those interviews, which is not an easy, especially if they're trying to go with the logic testing as well, which I won't even bother going over from my end how I do. Participation in trading competitions also help for sure. If you're top of game in the results or through a prop shop, that can help. Um, but I think really to break through is if you build your own trading solution and trade that and do really well with it. And maybe you don't even need a job anymore. I don't know. But that's the goal. Okay. So I'm not going to go over that. So now 50 minutes in, let's talk about what I'm going to do. I have talked about in one of my videos. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Um, and basically, what's going to happen is I've already mentioned futures and options pretty well where the HFT firms trade, along with the hedge funds, along with the institutional level. So, what you're going to want to do is let me just see if I can find this video. Mm, okay, so this is the video I talked about with Mark, this guy right here. So you want to watch that. He's the kind of typical person you're going to want to know about from a student point of view, and you'll see how much of a big time self starter he is. For him, just doing this interview says it in itself. So a lot of kudos to that guy. Um, yes, right here. Okay, so this is the video right here. High frequency trading, HFT, perfect match for futures and options. In that video, I go over a course from UC Davis. Okay, that is a standard, legit university course again from UC Davis. Futures and options. You can do your own Google research, and it's free on YouTube. There's two versions: 2002 version, I believe, and a 2015 version. This is the standard things you need to know about trading, especially at an institutional level. It all boils down to supply and demand. I don't care what people say. That's basically how it works: supply and demand. Okay. That is what drives the markets. And that's what's been driving the markets, especially at the futures and options level for the last 100 plus years without the computers. But the computers just basically sped everything and just complicated it more. But if you boil it down, it is futures and options. So knowing that, I recognize that there is huge demand for people for coming from the world of C++ and trying to figure out how can they trade a system of some kind that will help them build algos for a standard HFT hedge fund trading shop, bank as well. So what I'm looking at doing is to use this course, and there's about 26 videos. It covers everything that you want to know about futures and options. It can get really, really, really kind of complicated, not because of the math, but because of just the trading involved with the payoff diagrams and da da da. But you can systematically create an entire system built around this. When to put a future contract on, when to put an option contract on, all the way down to that. And what are your target levels? What are your uh, optimal exit that you want to get out on? Da da da. It's all mathematically calculated. There is also Black Scholes as well that's used, and that's pretty well. It's not very complicated math, but it's there. But yes, you can basically systemize it, systematically put something together. And I think if you build a back end, some kind of back engine for this, that can be done with this course, and tying it all together as one complete system. So that's what I'm planning to do sometime starting in October. So that everyone's going to go, how much is it going to cost, Brian? How much is it going to cost? Okay, let's get into that. So as it stands right now, we've got the plans and pricing. So right now I've got really two levels, which is basically my quant analytics that just shows you basically what to trade, when to trade it. That's really more from a trading view perspective. So we cover their crypto, we cover Forex. We cover um, stocks and ETFs specifically. But with the way the markets are going right now, everything can change so fast. So right now, stocks and ETFs are not playing nice right now because of the conditions of the markets. But there's still other things out there that can be somewhat traded. You're not going to be a millionaire from it, but it can be done. So I have that kind of covered, and that really is, as I said, is really for trading view. So this is where I'm talking about here, which is my Quant Elite. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build out this course. I might make it live. Also, we can put up the code. We can build an entire community from it, and get hopefully some knowledgeable people in there that can help out to guide people as a private community. And on top of you, just everything else out there. So there's not just that, but if you haven't seen the fun stuff here, the learning stuff, all the courses, basically the program list. Now, let me just tell you about the site. This site is now built on Wix, okay, not WordPress. WordPress has been a very bad platform for the last 5 years, let's say. So I moved everything over to Wix. So it's a new domain, quantlabsnet.com, as I said. Okay, so from there, if for any reason you want to learn about crypto trading with a Python 3 trading infrastructure building course, I got that. I've got all these different TradingView courses. So I got all those. So they're available. I also got one covering auto trading, which is, well, there's Pine Script, there's auto trading and all that as well. So I can give all that as well as part of that one price that I mentioned up here at $4.99. I will have to raise this because once I bring in this other new course, that's going to be a very valuable, uh, a very valuable, uh, it's a very valuable new course, private course that's part of that. In there also, just so you know, I've shown you the groups. Um, there's a three groups. So I have a quant elite group here, and basically what it is I break out curating, trying to do it daily, um, a breakdown between coding resources, quant trading resources, and I'm curating it. Okay. So I do my scans every day. Every day I'm doing that. I've been doing that for a while. And the reason I do this coding and quant trading set of resources, there's a lot of good stuff in there. What I will tell you about that, a lot of it includes pretty advanced programming. So these are really helpful for people. Obviously, you'll not get all that in one community, but at least you'll be kind of inspired by what you see. I purposely detailed topics that covered from the book. So there's going to be actually real world questions and answers and code snippets in there. Same along with the quant trading stuff as well. Okay. And it's a private community. So anybody can create a post within that community. Okay. And I'd set it up the same way with the analytics group, with the quant analytics group. And then I have a free group for the news as well. And what I've done, just so people know, is I've broken down news into trading, quant, forex, equity, and just generic trading, and nerds, which is the programming stuff. So what I've done is I've taken out the valuable programming stuff, all the valuable quant trading stuff, and put those news items into this Quant Elites service as well. So for $4.99 as it stands, you get all this what I'm talking about on top of this new course we're going to do starting. I'm going to estimate mid-October. I anticipate that that probably will take you up to the end of the year because there's so much material. 25 weeks worth. It may actually go into early next year. Now, with this in mind, we're not here to, like, we can help you trade. Can we make you a profitable trader? I'm going to be honest with you. It's really hard to make it yes or no because of the way the markets look. I personally think that there's going to be something big happening for the downside. It's going to be bigger than the great financial crisis of 2008. That's my opinion. So, because of that, will this make you a millionaire? Will this make you a profitable trader? No, but it will give you all the necessary tools to go through to make sure if you're going into career, you're covered, especially with the futures and options and applying some of the basic C++ stuff. On top of that, if you're wanting to go independent and building out your own infrastructure, we can together on this, call it journey, build that too. So with those kind of systems can be highly valuable. My goal is at some point, if there's not enough demand in the next, let's say 3 to 6 months on TradingView, I'm going to put a focus to build up my own private trading system. But again, there will be the assistance from my point of view, maybe some other people, I don't know, in the group. It's still early days on this group, but that's what I'm looking at for everything at this price. Okay, and that will be a 1 year subscription and just renew it again. Just so you know, I'm looking at investment groups. Okay, I'm looking at one that pays out at $10,000 annually. Like you get the top notch guys, the Jim Richards, you get also the Jim Rogers, Schiff, all that. And then you also have to pay on top of it another 2,500 bucks. So when you look at those kind of pricing, that's cheap for what it is and getting the access to that kind of group from an investment point of view. I'm not sure when I'm going to spring on that yet, but I want to see this take off for me to make those kind of serious decisions. The other thing I mentioned about Wix, thank you very much for people on YouTube for making my YouTube come alive again. Thank you for that. Thank you for watching up until this point. The thing is, when you're on Wix, I can easily do two things. I can take a lot of the videos and put them privately on Wix. So you only find what we build, all the videos, everything explained will be only on Wix. It won't be on YouTube. It won't be anywhere else. On top of that, there is an ability where I can help build out in a private group a private mobile app on top of it. So you would get access to all the private video stuff and any private course material I provide will can be provided in the native mobile app. Everybody will be able to download this app once we get to that point on Wix. But the extra can also be in the same app, be able to get access to your private stuff as well. If it's the courses, if it's the groups, whatever. That's all courtesy of the technology of Wix on why I've chosen that this platform, Wix. So that's part of it as well. There's a lot of opportunity here to exploit what's available on Wix. Okay, so I've done enough. As I said, hopefully you've already opted in to the Learn to get your free HFT book in C++. Just gives you the mechanics, some basic stuff. I've already covered the scope of it when you first open it up by a couple of videos. And you can also get a 45-minute view if all is too complicated. And if you want to go down the TradingView path and build out your own automated trading system, I can do that. But make sure after you opt in, make sure you book online for a 15-minute call. Okay, let's talk about my schedule. Today's August 13th. As of August, probably up to August 21st, I won't be available after that. I'm gone out of country, uh, out of country where I live in Canada uh, for about 6 weeks till about, let's say, October 10th. I'm going to start getting available. So all of September I'm gone, and about 6 weeks, first week of October, last week of August. So because of that, um, I don't know my availability when I'm gone. Some of you may go, well, what are you doing? Where are you going? Okay, if you've been following me long enough, you know I'm getting tired of Canada. So I'm out. I'm born UK, and I'm sure you've heard the wonderful things going on over there over the last few weeks. That totally changed my plan because I was looking at going back to where I was born in the UK. Don't think that's going to happen. I have to be a good boy over there because of the craziness of what's that can get you in trouble there. So I have to be a good boy. So for a couple of weeks, I'll be scouting out where I want to go potentially. As I said, I'm going. I want to see my own country anyway, so it's not wasting time. But I'm gonna kind of take a serious look at if there is any future in UK. I've said if you've been on my email list, I've said I make myself available. The way it's looking is September 5th, 6th, and maybe 7 September in London, UK. You got to jump on that available. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to help anybody, meet anybody as a group. I've not got any responses on that whatsoever. Also, after the 7th, I'll be in lovely Switzerland. Same thing, seeing where to go, what to see as a potential new place to go. Because as a Brit, you can do that as long as you show the government in Switzerland that you can self fund yourself and you're good to go. So that's the plan of where I'm going over those 6 weeks. And I don't know, beyond that, it just really depends on you. If you want to continue helping me keep the lights on around here, and maybe even my goal is just to get over to Europe short term. Not short term, maybe long term. It just depends on how the world turns out with the US election and whatever else, and just however you feel when you get there into Europe. Um, so we don't know beyond, let's say, mid-October, and it really depends upon this, right? And if you want to help and get into this course and take advantage of what, as I said, with Wix, it's not cheap per month, and on top of all the other good stuff I'm looking at, and all the current stuff I'm doing. And if you want to set up your TradingView algo business with no coding involved, I can even do it for you, but I can't do anything until October, that October date. So I can do that. It could be limited. I need whoever is interested to prove me wrong to focus on that. But the way it's looking from the perspective of YouTube traffic, it's really looking like C++, HFT stuff. That's what people want. That's what's making my channel grow, which tells me there's an audience there. They're opting in quite a lot. Thank you very much for that, providing their email and all that. And you will be put into an automated series so you get the same thing what I'm talking about here. So we'll leave it at that. Oh man, hour video. I've not done an hour video in a long time. If you watch this entire video, mucho gracias for doing that. Take whatever you want seriously. And really, it's going to be over the next 7 weeks what you want to decide. Show me where you want to go, YouTube. Show me where you want to go, people on my email list as well. Okay. So I'll be trying to send out emails whenever I can when I'm gone, but I still got a couple of another week I can bang stuff out. But this is where I'm announcing what's happening in a couple in effective 10 days for 5, no, 1 plus 5 weeks, 5 weeks. So that's 6 weeks. All right, over and out. Thanks for watching.